Parenting is a system that allows you to create hierarchical linking between layers. It can be used simply to link layers together, or it can be used to create quite complex inverse kinematic style animation. This movie will explain the basics and will warn you about some pitfalls that you're likely to encounter when using this feature. If you want to follow along, you can open up Parenting AEP, which is in the Grouping and Linking folder. And here I have my Maria character. Now, what we're going to do is set up a new workspace for this, because I always find that having a timeline with lots of layers in it like this, I need to set up a different workspace. So what we're going to do is create a new workspace, and I'm going to call it Character Animation. Okay, and we'll just add a capital letter to the beginning there, and then click OK. So once I've created that, I can then start to drag panels around. So I'm going to place this one over here at the edge, and you'll notice it's highlighted in green when I do that. So I now have my character nice and big. I can see exactly what I'm doing with my character. I'm also just going to squash these panels up so that my timeline is predominant. Now there's a couple of columns here I don't need, so I'm going to hide my modes column. And I can also really hide my switches column for now. We may need to bring that back. So all I can see is my parent column and my layers. Now I want to create a character animation, so I want to do things like move the head around. If I move the head now and open up my position value, and of course I need my switches column back, so I'm just going to right click on there and choose switches. If I move my head, notice the glasses and the other parts of the head don't follow. So what I need to do is somehow join them together. And a way of doing it is by parenting. Now there's a couple of ways of parenting. If I want the jaw to follow the head, I can pull this thing out here, which is called the pick whip, and I can select the head. Okay, I get this lovely ktsh sound effect if I do that successfully. You have to add your own sound effects in After Effects. And now, when I move the head, the jaw will follow. But notice the glasses aren't following. So I also need to get the glasses following. So I'm going to select the glasses. And this time, I can use the parenting menu and choose the head from the list. And now when I move the head, the glasses will follow. Notice the pupils aren't following. So we'll also get the eyebrows and the pupils to follow the head. Select them all, link them to the head. And now when the head moves, everything else follows. We should also get the hat to follow, so let's do that too. And now we get them all moving as a group. So that's really nice. I can now select the head and move it. I can even rotate it if I bring up rotation. And the parenting will follow rotation as well. Now you'll notice the head is rotating around the nose, and that's because the anchor point is in the middle. If I want it to rotate around this point, what I'm going to do is choose Pan Behind tool and just move that anchor point down to here. And now when I rotate, it's going to rotate around that point. So let's create a little bit of rotation. Let's just set a keyframe there. Let's move ahead a little bit and just change that to 7. And then what we'll do is just copy and paste those keyframes to create a loop. There are other ways of looping, but for now, this is fine for what we need. So we're just going to create a little looping animation there. And select those keyframes and easy ease them. Easy's shortcut is F9, by the way. Okay, so there we go. We've got her moving her heads from side to side over time. But what if I want, say, the hat to move up and down, or the glasses to move up and down as she's doing that? Or in fact, if I want her to move her eyes? Well, the good thing about parenting is it's a one-way link. So I can select the pupils and let's just move them to one side. So let's just move the pupils over to that side. So she's looking in that direction. And you'll notice that I'm moving them, but it's not moving the head. So it's a one-way linking system. So basically, the pupils are children of the head, so wherever the head moves as the parent, the child's, or the children rather, will follow the head. But the children can move independently of the parent, so it's just like real life. So we'll move ahead a little bit, and we'll move the position of the eyes to the other side. Okay, and now if we preview it, you'll see, let's just RAM preview that so we can see it without the selection. We'll see we've got the head moving around and the eyes moving from side to side. Now we could also get the glasses moving up and down. Let's select the glasses, and what I'm going to do is add some random animation to them. So I'm going to open up position value, and I'm going to set a keyframe for position at the beginning, keyframe for position at the end, select them, and then I'm going to open up my wiggler palette and just give it some random animation. So let's say 5 times per second, move it by 10 pixels. It's probably far too much, but we'll go for that. Close the wiggler palette. And now if we preview that, you'll see the glasses are now moving around randomly on her face. So parenting is a one-way linking system. If you want to link the other body parts, you have to think about that song. The head bone's connected to the shoulder bone, and the shoulder bone's connected to the body bone. So basically you think, well, the head would be connected to the body, the left shoulder would be connected to the body, the left arm would be connected to the left shoulder, and on and on and on. And you'll see that I've actually adjusted the anchor points of these layers so that now I can move the left shoulder around. And if I get the left forearm to follow, so let's get the left arm to follow the left shoulder and the right arm to follow the right shoulder. Now the forearm follows, so I can create little waves of motion by animating these independently. So it's great for creating character animation, hierarchical animation that you would use to create a kind of inverse kinematics effect. If you want to see the end result of this, you can open up Maria Wave End, and in here you can have a look at all the keyframes that I've added. I've got a little walking motion, and she now raises up her hands and waves in the air. So a really simple way of creating a walking loop is just to move the legs up and down. Okay, not a physically correct walk, but it's enough to make it look like that character is walking. So that's a little bit about parenting and how you can use it, particularly for character animation. And you don't need to just use it for character animation. It can also be used in the same way for text layers or any other layers within your comp.